Folks, change is in the air. Momentum is on the side of democracy. You know, here at the MeidasTouch Network, we love to report on Republicans who have left the party because the party has left them. We report on former Trump voters who share their stories with us, who no longer vote for him because they recognize the threat that he and Shady Vance pose. They recognize the fact that he is a convicted felon and an absolute threat to our democracy. So if you have a story like this, please share it in the comments below, whether it's you, a friend, family member, coworker, neighbor, someone you know. If you're seeing that there are less Trump signs that are up now than there used to be up, share those stories. It's important that we let people know that this is a safe space in the pro-democracy community, that we in the pro-democracy community love our flag. We love our democracy. We love our country, and we are fed up with these MAGA extremists taking our symbols and trying to use it so they can undermine our democracy. Let me just show you some things that are happening. So across the country, you may be seeing billboards like this, thanks to the Republican Voters Against Trump PAC. They do great work. Here are some of the billboards. I'm a former Trump voter. I'm a gun owner. I'm voting for Harris. And this is Dwight from Michigan. I'm a former Trump voter. I'm a conservative. I'm voting for Harris. I'm a former Trump voter. I'm a patriot. I'm voting for Harris. Mike from Pennsylvania. That was before that was Lars from Wisconsin. I'm a former Trump voter. I'm a veteran. I'm voting for Kamala Harris. That's Matthew from Pennsylvania. You may have even seen this. What an incredible event in the Villages in Florida, which is always had a tradition of being kind of right-wing and very Trumpy. Not anymore. There was a big 500 golf cart parade that took place in the Villages in Florida, where the energy and enthusiasm there for Vice President Kamala Harris, never seen anything like this before. Here, watch this. This is in the Villages, folks. An organic rally for Vice President Kamala Harris. Donald Trump's worst nightmare. Here, play this clip. I'm reading messages like this pop up all over the internet. Some are being sent to me. You know, we've covered tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of messages like this. We are boomers. This is from Laura. We are boomers, children of Goldwater Republicans living in a red state, ready to vote for Kamala Harris. Wes writes, I'm a white 68-year-old male from the South who went to a conservative prep school and grew up with Republicans. I'm endorsing and proudly voting for Vice President Kamala Harris for President of the United States. Take a look at this. This is former Georgia Republican Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris for president. Watch how it's done. Play the clip.
Jeff, are you formally endorsing her? Would you like to speak at the convention?
Well, look, I've said this before, including on this show, that I am committed to beating Donald Trump for all the right reasons. I'm willing to make the 4-year investment into the Republican Party to fix us, to heal us. We are a better party without Donald Trump. And I know millions of Republicans don't see that, but they will one day. They'll be embarrassed that they took the bait and followed Donald Trump down a dark path for our party. And so I'm committed. And if that means endorsing, speaking for, voting for, waving a sign, whatever. I don't agree with Kamala Harris on everything. I didn't agree with Joe Biden on everything. I don't agree with my wife on everything. But I am committed to this country. And I think actually, she doesn't agree with me on everything. I think that's probably the better way to put it.
Let's be candid. Any spouse who says they agree with the other on everything is definitely not telling the truth. Maybe for marital harmony, but still not telling the truth. Sorry, continue.
No, look, I'm willing to eat a little bit of humble pie here to do the right thing. And the right thing is to beat Donald Trump. I couldn't help but think what would have happened if Donald Trump would have done what Joe Biden did yesterday a few months ago. If he would have done the decent thing, the thing that we all know makes sense, and that's to step away from the job of being the nominee. We would be a better party for it. I've been behind the curtain with Donald Trump. Everybody who's been behind the curtain with Donald Trump and watched him make decisions know that he's reckless on a good day and dangerous on a bad day. And that's probably the most optimistic way to put it.
Now take a look at this right here. This is Ed, former Trump voter from Pennsylvania. Here's what Ed has to say. Play the clip.
Not voting at all, in my mind, is not an option. If you don't vote at all, you leave it to others to choose, and that leaves too much of a danger that Trump would be elected. My name is Ed. I live in eastern Pennsylvania and the Lehigh Valley, and I am a former Trump voter. I voted for Trump in the last election, but when he failed, and he still insists that he didn't lose that election, that is an indication of his failure of his character. He is going to destroy NATO, but he said further that he will not defend any NATO country if they haven't committed to their defense what he thinks they should have. And he's used some pretty rough language to say what he would do. He would let Putin take them over. He's going to be a lame duck, which in his mind will leave him free to do whatever he wants without regard for the how the electorate feels. Another Trump term would be a disaster for the country in so many fronts. Not voting at all, in my mind, is not an option. If you don't vote at all, you leave it to others to choose, and that leaves too much of a danger that Trump would be elected.
I just want to show you this moment as well, too. This is when Vice President Kamala Harris was a senator. Watch her in action cross-examine Brett Kavanaugh, corrupt Supreme Court justice, as he tried to lie over and over again during his testimony, during his confirmation hearing. Watch this. Play the clip.
Senator Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Attorney General Barr, has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone?
I wouldn't.
Yes or no?
Could you repeat that question?
I will repeat it.
Yeah.
Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone? Yes or no, please, sir?
The president or anybody else?
Seems you would remember something like that and be able to tell us.
Yeah, but I'm trying to grapple with the word suggest. I mean, there have been discussions of matters out there that they have not asked me to open an investigation, but
Perhaps they've suggested,
I don't know. I wouldn't say suggest.
hinted,
I don't know.
inferred. You don't know. Okay. In your March 24th summary, you wrote that, quote, after reviewing the special counsel's final report.
But I will say that no one.
Sir, I'm asking a question. In your March 24th summary, you wrote that, quote, after review.
Hey everyone, I want to share something that's really made a difference for me when it comes to enjoying a night out with friends. It's called ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol. Pre-Alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make ZBiotics your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Every time I have pre-alcohol before drinks, I notice a difference the next day. Even after a night out, I can confidently plan on hitting the gym, enjoying a brunch, or just getting some important work done without worry. I'll be honest, I was a bit skeptical of ZBiotics at first, but then while hanging out with my friends at our favorite bar downtown, I decided to give it a try, and let me tell you, it really works. The first time I tried pre-alcohol was during a friend's wedding weekend. I had my first drink of the night, a delicious old-fashioned, by the way, right after taking ZBiotics. The next morning, I was up early, feeling great, and ready to join the rest of the wedding party for breakfast and activities. It was a total game changer. With vacations, weddings, birthdays, and reunions, there's so much going on this summer. Get the most out of your plans by stocking up on pre-alcohol now. Go to zbiotics.com/Meidas to get 15% off your first order when you use Meidas at checkout. Pre-alcohol is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/Meidas, M-E-I-D-A-S, and use the code Meidas at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, ZBiotics, for sponsoring this episode and our good times.
Back to some of these voters sharing their story. Here is another voter. This is Chuck. He's an ex-Trump voter who can never support him again. Here, play this clip.
My name is Chuck, and I am a former Trump supporter. I completely 100% hold him accountable for the insurrection of the Capitol. I will not ever support or vote for Donald Trump, ever. I will vote Democrat. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I will. I will vote for Joe Biden.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Here is Steve, a former Trump voter from Texas, sharing his story. Watch this.
I can't imagine a second Trump term. It's something that just fills me with dread. I voted for Trump in 2016. It was dangerous for him to claim that the election was stolen. His whole claim that immunity is necessary so presidents don't get prosecuted. There were 44 before him. Not one of them has been prosecuted. I mean, the fact that a president of the United States would keep and share with foreign nationals classified documents is appalling. That's treason on any base level. The attempt to overthrow the elections, the one thing you expect from the chief executive is to preserve our system of democracy and to basically plot to overthrow it, to become dictator for life, which is what it looked like he was trying to do. Makes me believe that Trump cannot be trusted anywhere near the seat of power ever again. I can't imagine a second Trump term. It's something that just fills me with dread. And his willingness to support Putin and say, for a guy who doesn't pay his own bills, suggesting that NATO countries should be invaded by the Russians for not paying as much as he thinks they should pay is just the height of hypocrisy. I certainly will not be voting for Trump in 2024.
And here is another former Trump voter who will no longer be voting for Donald.
A vote for Donald Trump is a vote against our Constitution and the betterment of our country. My name is Julie, and I'm a registered voter from Kansas. I am a former Donald Trump supporter, but I will not be supporting Donald Trump in the 2024 election. I think that Donald Trump did commit crimes, especially in Georgia, where he petitioned them to find him more votes. I also believe that he is abusive to women and that those charges should stand. He also greatly concerns me because of his apparent infatuation, I guess, with Putin from Russia. It seems that he believes that man is an awesome leader and that he would emulate him if reelected. We do not want a dictatorship in this country. And if Donald Trump is reelected, that can happen. I would never vote for Donald Trump again to run for any elected office, nor do I believe he has earned the right to run for another elected office. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote against our Constitution and the betterment of our country.
Folks, I want to hear your story. I want you to share it in the comments below. And as you know, if you're new to the MeidasTouch Network, for those who have always watched it, what we talk about here in the pro-democracy community, we don't talk about things on this network in terms of liberal and conservative because I never believed that MAGA was conservative. What are they conserving? There's nothing. They want to tear down our institutions. And then they steal the symbols to pretend to be patriots. But they're not. They steal the flag and they put Donald Trump's name on it. They take our anthem and replace it with the J6th choir song. They lead insurrections. They want to abolish the FBI. Look, just recently, Donald Trump, here's a post from him. He said that Christopher Wray, a Republican FBI director who Donald Trump appointed, Trump said he should be criminally prosecuted. Why? Because Christopher Wray testified last week that he wasn't sure if it was a bullet or shrapnel or a bullet fragment that hit Donald Trump's ear in Butler, Pennsylvania. So Trump says he needs to be arrested. That is who this man is, Trump. He shouldn't even be called that. He is an absolute maniac. So what we say here is that they ain't conservative. So if you're a liberal, progressive, mainstream conservative, mainstream Republican, independent, not affiliated with any political parties, if you just want to be on team normal, team democracy, this pro-democracy community is for you. Again, we love our country and we're going to push back on this MAGA fascism, this WWE cosplay fascism, where they invite Hulk Hogan to the Republican National Convention and he rips off his shirt and he goes, "Oh, I'm Hulk Hogan. You better vote for the Trumpster." What are you talking about? You're humiliating this incredible country. We ain't going to stand for it. Share your story in the comments below. Thank you for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.